Will you marry me?
Yeah, I do.
Hi guys, welcome back to House of Cramel. Thank you for coming to our channel. I am Cramel and this is
Charles.
He's my husband.
I'm her husband. That's my wife.
I was about to say, you're supposed to say I'm your wife.
I know I'm going.
I
I think they know that, but you know.
Well, not if it's their first time. So if it's your first time coming, welcome to our house. We're glad to have you. Today's video, I'm so excited about it. Like I've wanted to talk about this for a while, and I felt like after Valentine's Day, you know, some dates happen, maybe some proposals happen. Congratulations if you got a ring. Woo-hoo. You can see I'm holding my bouquet. This video is about weddings, but not just any weddings. This video is about budget weddings.
Definitely.
Should we tell them?
I think we should.
Okay, you know what I'm about to tell them?
Let me see your notebook. Yes.
Oh my gosh. So, we had a budget wedding.
Yep.
If you've been on my IG before, I don't know if I think I got a couple wedding photos on my IG. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
If not, if I don't have any now, I'll have some soon. So you can see, but I was pregnant on my wedding. We had our blessing named Charles Henry Fort III. He was at the wedding. I was 7 months pregnant.
Yeah, 7 months. 7 months, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's crazy now that I think about it. August, September, October. Yeah, I was 7 months pregnant. And I might have been 6 months pregnant.
I think you were coming in the same.
Right, because, because Buka came 4 weeks early. So I was about 6 months, going into 7 months pregnant. And I was pretty big, but I felt pretty good. And we got married. So long story short, we decided that we wanted to get married pretty soon. We have been talking about marriage ever since we pretty much got together. We're in our 30s. So, and shoot, it's not late 30s yet, is it? We're in our mid-30s. That feels better. We're in our mid-30s. So when we started dating, it wasn't a game for us. And we had both been through a lot of life, and we knew a lot about what we wanted already in a marriage and in a relationship. So it didn't really take long for us to decide that we really wanted to be together forever. Fast forward, we had a love child. And that just kind of sped up our plans because we both agreed that we wanted to be married before our child came into the world. We had picked out my ring 2 months before I found out I was pregnant. So I wasn't pregnant yet, but we had been ring shopping just because, like I said, we were serious. So he knew what ring I wanted already. That's another random story for another day. But yeah, he already knew what ring I wanted. And we talked about marriage seriously for, like I said, since we had been together. So it really wasn't a difficult or tough decision to decide that we wanted to do it. But because we wanted to do it sooner than later before Buki actually came out, we had to make some quick decisions. And we knew we didn't want to break the bank getting married. So we had what some may call a budget wedding.
You and this
It's not okay. I love this thing. You just don't even know.
I can't tell.
I still have it.
It's nice though. It's cute.
I love this thing. We'll get into this later. But yeah, we had a budget wedding, and I encourage those of you that are thinking about it or that are on that path to kind of do the same. Now, your definition of a budget wedding might be a little different than ours. I define a budget wedding anything that's in the 5-figure range. So I guess that's like, I don't know, it can't be zero, but I guess from 0 to 9,999, or just right up to 10,000. And I mean, shoot, we could get with $10,000. But anyway,
Yeah.
But this video is giving you guys tips on how to plan your own budget wedding. The target we're kind of reaching right now is in around the 5,000-ish range. Full transparent. Our wedding was around that. I don't think it was in that neighborhood. It was definitely in that neighborhood. I still got the spreadsheets from when we were planning. But yeah, so we'll be giving tips on people that are in that bracket. Now, that's not to say that if you plan to spend more than that you can't use these tips, because you absolutely can. These tips are meant to help people that don't want to spend a ton of money on a wedding, and we recommend it. We came out of our wedding with 0 debt, which is always great. And guess what? We have an awesome marriage. So.
Oh yeah.
So, and our wedding was actually pretty nice too. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's define what a budget is.
Budget.
So, your budget is defined as the money you saved for a wedding, the gifts or monetary gifts that you received for the wedding, and this is kind of imaginary money, but the money you plan to put to the side for the wedding that you're working for.
Right.
But most importantly, the money that you already have and the money that has been given to you if you're blessed enough to receive some. But yeah, so that's what we define as a budget. So like I said, without further ado, number one, the first thing that you need to consider when planning a budget wedding is your guest list.
Yes.
Now, when you read most articles or search on the internet or look at anybody else's video, they're probably going to tell you that you need to think about venue first. And while that is true, when planning a budget wedding, every cost, most all of your costs, especially the most costly, depend on how many people are going to be there. That's venue, that's food, that's favors, in almost everything that you're doing.
That's the first question they're going to ask.
How many people?
Anywhere you go. How many guests you have?
Exactly. So you need to know how many people you want to be at this wedding, and that's already going to determine a lot about what your figures are going to look like.
Yeah.
And if you're on a budget, we highly recommend you keep it intimate. I like that word.
Intimate, good word.
Yep, intimate. We invited
40.
Yes, 40 people. Yeah. I think 50 was including like us and
we had a good crew with ourselves and our wedding.
Exactly. I mean, but that's real. You have to include yourself in the discount. You got to eat. So you a person taking up space in the venue, so you have to count yourself in your guest count. So think about how many guests you're going to have and keep it low. Now, I can't tell you how to handle the drama in your family, because it will no doubt ruffle some feathers. And if you feel like that's going to happen, then maybe you just need to go away and have a destination wedding.
Or the courthouse.
Or the courthouse.
Yeah.
Budget. Hello.
Budget. That's the budget.
But if you want to sit down, you want to have a ceremony, you want to have a reception, you do need to consider a guest list. And our biggest recommendation is keep it low, because that drives costs down a lot. Budget wedding is, in my mind, between 50 and 100 people, just depending on where you are in the sliding budget scale. But yeah, 40, 50 people. Number two, now you need to decide what things mean most to you. When you have I'm gonna be real, you cannot have it all in a budget wedding. The first thing you need to understand is this is what all is. The relationship, the marriage is the destination.
So you gotta live after the wedding.
Exactly. And like, that's the most important thing. Like, that's top tier. So hopefully once you wrap your mind around that, I didn't have to wrap my mind around nothing. I was good. But if you do find yourself like, oh my God, I always envision some Cinderella wedding that costs money. So
You're not gonna make that at 5,000.
No. There are some things that you are going to have to sacrifice if you don't want to spend that amount of money. Depending on the way you do things. But like I said, this is geared towards if you want to have a venue, you want to sit down, you want to have guests. Yeah. but you need to decide what's important to you, because that's where the bulk of your money is going to go towards. That's what you're going to invest in. That's what you're going to focus on when you are deciding where you're going to put your money. So the things that were most important to me were, I always said that at my wedding, I wanted to eat barbecue ribs and macaroni and cheese.
My kind of lady right there, man.
And like, I wanted a Southern, like, cookout style dinner at my wedding. And that is exactly what we did. But guess what? Barbecue ribs are not cheap. So, but that's something that I wanted. So food was at the top of my list. I wanted a great photographer, because no matter where I had my wedding or how small it was, I wanted to be able to carry those memories with me visually forever. Like, I wanted to be able to look back at those pictures and say, these were such beautiful pictures. I really just loved everything. So I chose to invest in photography. One thing we did not do, we did not get a videographer. We did not film our wedding, but sometimes it shoots people in the foot. But we had a lot of friends that filmed our wedding for us, and I received about 3 videos, 2 of our wedding in its entirety from friends. So I really didn't have to worry about that. And we got a surprise video from Charles' uncle. And it was really nice. It was a video and some photos. It was very nice. So we still managed to get video, but we did not pay a videographer. So I chose to, that was a sacrifice I made. But I did have a photographer. And the third thing that meant most to me is I really wanted to put my own finishing, like, personal touches on the wedding. I wanted certain things to look very, very nice. I knew I wasn't going to be able to, like, drape a hall and a bunch of curtains and have special lighting everywhere. That just was not going to happen on my budget. But I still valued the way that it looked. So, like I said, decide what's important to you and invest into those things in your budget, and then just kind of, you don't let the other things fall by the wayside, but you're gonna spend less on the other things that aren't in that in those 2 or 3 things that you value the most. Number 3, get the most out of your venue. You want to speak to this one? I know I've been talking a minute.
I mean, yeah. I like to hear you talk. So, you know what I'm saying? I like how you talk.
Inside joke.
Inside joke. Anyway. Oh yeah, get the most out of your venue. Our venue was small. Naturally, we had 40 guests. But here's the kicker: they provided the tables. They also provided the tablecloths, pretty much the chair covers, everything at this venue.
They set it up.
They set it up. They broke it down, and then we were also able to utilize a caterer of our choice. We could also have our own libations of our choice. So we weren't locked into a venue to where you come in and you have to use their people and there's an upcharge, or you pretty much caught in this place where you can't do anything except their own people, their own vendors. So we had the flexibility. It was an awesome rate for the venue as well. And then we were also able to leverage our own caterer, our own DJ.
Shout out to Ray's Southern Foods.
And shout out to Ray's, man. What's up?
Yes. Hello, Ray's. Man. Whew.
Yeah, man. That was.
Sorry, I love food. We love food, y'all. And that was a very memorable thing. My grandma still asks about that macaroni and cheese. So shout out. I'm gonna have to go get her some. But shout out to Ray's Southern Foods and our DJ.
Shout out to him, man.
Dang, what was his name?
I can't remember his name.
I'm gonna put it on the screen because I gotta go look at it. But
he was dope.
Man, that was actually another micro really important to me. I was prepared to have a contingency plan if I couldn't find a really dope DJ, but when I tell you, he was the truth. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, but yeah, get the most out of your venue. I think you did a great job, baby.
You did. I did. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. You cute.
You cute too.
Kiss break. I look like Boo Boo. I did it.
All right. So what number are we on? 4?
4.
Number 4. This is gonna be a little bit of a long. This is gonna be the longest video I've put up since. But number 4 is keep it simple. It is very easy to get carried away when you're planning a wedding. It just is. Brides know if you planned a wedding before or you're in the process of planning one now, it's very easy to get carried away. You start seeing all these stuff when you start signing up for newsletters and looking at websites. People start sending you stuff and you think you need and want all of that when you really don't. Keep it simple.
No, you don't need a horse and carriage for a budget wedding.
If you got it, if you got an uncle with it, if you yes, if you got it in your budget. Somebody might have an uncle with a.
I mean, hey, if you got a stable, go for it.
Right,
you know
so
what I'm saying?
if you know people, you know people.
Use your resources.
Exactly. That's like a part B.
That's another.
The less you have to worry about logistically and the less details you have to worry about, the less extra money that you're going to end up spending. Now, you do have to be smart, because if you don't think about certain things, you will end up spending more money. Like, who's going to clean up? Who's going to set up?
Right.
Who's going to break it down? But that type of stuff. We had some great family that helped out with some of the stuff that the venue didn't necessarily carry. Things that I brought in on my own. My family helped to break it down. Shout out to them. But everything that the venue provided, they took care of.
Right.
But so you gotta think about that. But that just drives my point even more. If I had a ton of stuff that I was trying to do up in there, my family would have been looking at me A1 crazy. So keep it simple.
Yep.
So that leads into my next point, number 5. DIY what you can. I know I just said keep it simple. But when you are planning a budget wedding and you want things to look a certain way, or there are just some things that you can do yourself that you don't have to pay anyone else to do, and that you will come out paying a lot less. There are plenty of websites, Instagrams, YouTube pages that'll show you how to do this stuff using supplies from the Dollar Tree, my favorite, Hobby Lobby, and Amazon. For example, I wanted to do my own centerpieces. I had a vision behind it. I was inspired by an event I went to with some friends a couple years back, and I really loved that look. So, and I didn't really like the centerpiece that came with the package that was from our venue. So yeah, it came with a centerpiece too. So if you didn't even want to spend money on that, you didn't have to, but I wanted it to elevate that a bit more. So I made my own centerpieces. I only had 8 tables, so it really wasn't a big undertaking. And I bought all of my supplies from Hobby Lobby and Amazon, but the most of it from my centerpieces came from Hobby Lobby. I think I got mirrors from Dollar Tree. But yeah, all these very inexpensive places, and I didn't have 100 tables to worry about. So that's what I mean by DIY what you can. My last point, Amazon and Etsy are your friends. When planning a budget wedding, unless you plan to DIY certain things, there isn't a lot of room for customness and a lot of things. And you could just save a lot more money if you use these vendors or retailers for a lot of things. So for example, I think my entire ensemble, everything I wore came off of Amazon. My dress came off Amazon. My wedding belt came off Amazon. My veil came from Amazon. My bouquet came from Amazon. My shoes came from Amazon. And also keep in mind, I was pregnant. So my dress, if I ever do have a daughter, she probably won't be able to wear that one or want to either. I don't know, but I still have it. But it came from Amazon, and I just found a beautiful maternity dress, or dress that was that women who were pregnant could fit for a wedding, and I had it altered to fit me, and it turned out great. Also Etsy. If you want something different, if you want something creative, and there are just certain things that you don't want to get off of Amazon, Etsy is a great place. Yep. Etsy can get kind of pricey, but you can find a lot of creative, one-of-a-kind pieces at Etsy. I got my wedding arch floral from Etsy. That is one of the pricier things that you can buy, but fresh flowers cost a lot more.
Yeah.
And I still have my wedding arch flowers. I was actually just able to lend them to someone else to be able to use. So it's just kind of the gift that keeps on giving. I don't know what I keep saying I'm gonna do something with them in my house one day, but I mean, when I'm ready, I will. I don't know what, but
I get that.
Yeah. But the lady handmade them out of artificial flowers, and they were beautiful. So that's what I mean. Take advantage of Amazon and Etsy and other places, like I mentioned, Hobby Lobby, Dollar Tree. Don't sleep on them, because they can help you save a lot of money in the long run. And honestly, you may use some of those pieces, or you can sell that stuff after your wedding. You don't have to keep it. I could sell my wedding arch floral if I want to. I could sell my vases. I could sell my little crystals I used. You can resell a lot of that stuff. So that's another wedding hack that I did read up on that we didn't necessarily do it. But one thing, before we found our venue, we were considering doing the wedding at our house in the backyard. Now the reality was, it was August in Atlanta, Georgia. Shoot, we probably would have came out better know what we done now. But anyway, we were gonna need chairs and tables, and we didn't have enough. But we were considering purchasing them and then selling them back on like Let Go or something. Mm-hmm. But so that's an option too. Like, that's a bonus. One last bit of advice, and this goes for all weddings, and then we'll tell you guys what happened at our wedding. Don't expect everything to go perfect. I don't care if your wedding costs $2,000, and I don't care if it costs $100,000. Something is not going to go as planned, and it is okay. It's completely okay. You'll look back, and those will be the things that you remember, like, and just be like, wow, I can't believe that happened, but it happened. Yep. So, but you have to. And I'm a planner. I have spreadsheets because I needed to keep up with our budget and what we needed and what we had already got and everything. Like, I'm a planner to the T. But after a point, you have to let go and try to enjoy the day, and let the people that you've put in place to help you, support you, and be there for you, and just enjoy the day. And I'm so happy we chose to enjoy the day, because it actually turned out to be a pretty dope day. It was a little rough in the beginning because you didn't want to take pictures, but it was. But that was for you. I had a fabulous time. I was upstairs sipping apple cider, getting my hair done and my makeup. My poor husband was huffing and puffing around the house. They had him working.
I was moving stuff.
And I
I
was like, they don't realize he the grown. Like,
I knew he was married today.
Right. But he was able to get it together. But so, story time. So what I mean by something is gonna go wrong, which we never expected. So our venue, it was great. It was small, and for the price we paid, like, it was almost a steal. However, on the day of our wedding, it was so hot. It was so hot. It was almost, it was like 90 degrees outside.
It was like 98.
It was hot.
Humid.
And we visited the venue at least 3 or 4 times, maybe more. But every single time we visited it, it was cold. Like, it was cold.
The air conditioning worked.
Everything. And that was one of my biggest things, because I was pregnant and it was summer, and I knew that I needed to be cool. Also, there were 4 other pregnant women at my wedding. 4?
4? Yeah, it was 4.
At least.
It was 4.
It might have been 5.
Yeah. I think you might be right.
There were 4 or 5, 4 for sure, other pregnant women at my wedding. And
on this day,
it was so hot.
On this day, we get to the venue.
The air, like,
hot.
We get in there and we notice it's a little bit warmer than usual. And we thought it might have been because the food was in the room, so it was set up off to the side. And we were like, well, maybe if we turn down the chafing dishes or something, you know, that would ease it. But it still wasn't as hot. But when everybody got in there and it just kept going, it just kept getting hotter and hotter. And we kept checking the air and it was on like 62. It was low, but it wasn't blowing out. Turns out the unit broke while we were there. And the vendor, it was a woman, she owned it. She was very apologetic about everything that happened. And she even gave us money back on what we paid for it. So we were thankful for that. And regardless of it being hot, shout out to everybody that came to our wedding.
Y'all really love us.
Y'all are real ones because
man,
it felt better outside after a certain point. So hot, bro. But everybody stayed. So like, even after they ate, people were just still sitting there. And I just knew people were going to get up and leave, but they didn't go anywhere. I mean, we had great food, and my DJ was great. I would have danced more if I didn't have to sit down so much to fan.
It was hot, but.
And also shout out to my photographer, because if you look at the pictures, you can't even tell it was hot, except for a couple, because my poor cake.
We had the Chanel emblem.
Oh yeah, so because our names both start with C's, I wanted to use the Chanel emblem as kind of our logo for the wedding, and it worked because C and C.
And then you got Chanel.
And I nicknamed my engagement ring Chanel back when we went and looked at it or found her, basically. We're gonna say that story. We'll tell you that story later. But I nicknamed her Chanel, and so yeah, we just thought it was fitting. But the top tier, I had cupcakes, key lime and red velvet. Shout out to Elf's Cakery. I had a bomb cake too, y'all. I'm just telling you. Anyway, but so I had cupcakes, but I had a top tier cake, and there were the 2 C's on there. When it got too hot, the C's just kind of. It was so sad.
They lolled out on us, but they lolled out, what? But in the beginning of it, they got good pictures.
They got great pictures at the beginning.
But near the end,
so like, just shout out to everybody that stayed to the end of our wedding. We love you guys. We're so glad you came. And
it was so hot.
We know how hot it was, and we just y'all real. For real. And then after the wedding, we all went to our house and ate leftovers.
All our friends came back to the house and we ate more food. We ate some ribs and mac and cheese and collard greens.
Yeah.
It was good, man.
It was wonderful.
It was good. We had a great time.
And to answer some of the, if you, for some reason, I think somebody wondering this, but no, we didn't go on a honeymoon right after because I was pregnant. The plan is to go on a honeymoon at some point. We planned to go when, after the baby was born and I was comfortable leaving here with someone. But 2020. Ooh, 2020 took care of that, and we have been honeymooning at home with our son. So I'm glad we took that little vacation before. But no, we ain't been on a honeymoon yet. But when we do go on our honeymoon, it's gonna be grand. My baby might be there. We'll see. So anyway, that is the end of this video.
Do the squid. What is it?
These just jokes. I'm just kidding. Not really. No, I'm kidding. We've agreed the baby can't come on the honeymoon. He gotta tell him though. I'm not telling Bookie that.
I already told him.
He didn't believe.
I already told him.
But anyway, that's the end of our video. Thank you guys for watching. We hope these tips helped you. They certainly helped me when making decisions. And yeah, leave comments down below. Did you have a budget wedding? Tell us about it. Did anything go wrong at your wedding, whether it was budget or not? Did you? Tell us. Let us know. We would love to hear your stories. We would love to hear what you think about what we've talked about here today. And yeah, come back for some more. Like, comment, and subscribe to House of Cramel. And oh yeah, hit that bell so you know the next time I post a video. And follow me and my husband on IG. I'm at House of Cramel, and he is Slim Biggie. And we are. Do people still throw the peace sign up? I don't know. Bye.